How I see it. Well, just see it. Just see it. Just see it. Just know. How I see it. The takeover, the elimination, the destruction, the re-education of the world now in the United States of America. Words required to be spoken softly and silently to eliminate a violent response. The work being done, the goals being set to be achieved, would make anyone excited. No more racism. No more men with frickin' swastika tattoos. No more Hitler beauty pageant queens. Hoo-yah. But these aren't what's happening now. Getting rid of this kind of world. The people in power and the leaders, the politicians and the activists who stormed City Hall in Seattle, Washington, who praise businesses being looted. And who require the tone to go cautiously and slow down thinking and thought, limiting the brain to achieve freedom. Limiting the brain to achieve freedom. Limiting behavior to solve violence. Giving stimulus for a reward. How I see it now, there's the same people doing the same stuff, calling it different words, using dialect, loud voices, yelling and screaming, and using their bodies as power. The same racists, the same slave-loving, gender-excluding, hypothetical and theoretical IQ and intelligence and wise genius who have figured out how to destroy the system of government. And they say they're doing the activity to solve the problems with racism, violence, and not being allowed to do enough art and to really express the emotions and give the self to the world. People People are interacting with such exuberance. And so few people are saying, can we learn? Can we? I mean, you can't even finish the sentence. It's so distracting from the revolutionary social processes. Words, emotions, a slogan, a face and a body, in pain, happiness, and anger, and rage. There's not really anywhere to go from there. Okay, language and then body. Behavior, in other words. There's enough people in the world who could continue the process of behavior, stand outside in the street, listen for silence, and demand obedience. And they'll always succeed. They'll always defeat the problem they see and hear now. Because plain and simple, people like me just go, oh, that's nice. You're doing the same racist stuff everyone's always done since slavery. You're just now calling your body, your brain, your human self a word like white privilege. A set of words, white privilege. In allowing ethnic cleansing to happen peacefully, people have figured out how to get rid of the machete, eliminate the gas chamber and the Holocaust, and do the work these same people did with a letter, a noise, and a distraction. There's no real benefit to going and trying to help the world ethnically. Inevitably, the people who are being cleansed stand up to the bully, no matter who they are. Because for people, humans, who aren't as concerned about culture, behavior, in some exciting video with people wearing ethnic clothes from another part of the world getting down on one knee, saying they are the change they wish to see in the world. And the change they wish to see in the world has to do with bowing down to the stronger, the more intelligent, and respecting the taller, the wider and the louder. In other words, inherently in the world, there is a set of limits for people like me now. And for those who get to see the limits, they get to control the limits. And they can do whatever they want, restricting those limits. And their reward has to do with their freedom with the limits. They just go and get a couple homies and ride down and pick up some drugs. They get some friends and they start a business like Facebook. And they make money from people who don't care about being limited. People are willing to accept the limits. Now, aside from all of the history where everyone wants the limits to be infinite, and nobody can figure out, well, how do you get people to grasp the notion of limits, the food needed for the body, the thinking, the thought, and the decision making required to not have a heart condition, diabetes, or some paranoid disorder. Viewing conspiracies as truth and fact. Love and peace. The beeping sounds have now made this world I'm describing a person sees a person not paying attention to the speaker who's telling them about what matters now. And they got to get talked to. They got to explain themselves. The elimination of all these problems has not a single word involved, has not a single part of consciousness intertwined. Decision making and choices to shut the window, for an example, to eliminate the loud noise, sound, activity outside. Doesn't require any sort of acknowledgement, doesn't require any other activity other than doing. After doing, there's a pause, a stop, an indication in my video, the time's running out, T minus 10 seconds now.